Now trying to ball like Big Faulk, then get out the gym. Monday through Friday from 7 to 9. When you see that notification, we about to go live. Hit this track and do your dance like you Karen Lacey. Run it back and turn Matthew to the house, baby. It's Tingle and Co. From 7 to 9. Compete with the show. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. From 7 to 9. It's Tingle and Co. It's Tingle and Co. From 7 to 9. Compete with the show. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. From 7 to 9. It's Tingle and Co. What up, Lord? What up, Lord? You can call me him. I'm Shay Dixon in the whip with them RPMs. Gotta pull up to the chat and shit out to them. Now trying to ball like Big Faulk, then get out the gym. Monday through Friday from 7 to 9. When you see that notification, we about to go live. Hit this track and do your dance like you Karen Lacey. Run it back and turn Matthew to the house, baby. It's Tingle and Co. From 7 to 9. Compete with the show. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. From 7 to 9. It's Tingle and Co. Word up. It's Tingle and Co. From 7 to 9. Compete with the show. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. From 7 to 9. It's Tingle and Co. What up, Lord? What up, Lord? You can call me him. I'm Shay Dixon in the whip with them RPMs. Gotta pull up to the chat and shit out to them. Now trying to ball like Big Faulk, then get out the gym. Monday through Friday from 7 to 9. When you see that notification, we about to go live. Hit this track and do your dance like you Karen Lacey. Run it back and turn Matthew to the house, baby. It's Tingle and Co. From 7 to 9. Compete with the show. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. From 7 to 9. It's Tingle and Co. Word up. Word up. It's Tingle and Co. From 7 to 9. Compete with the show. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. From 7 to 9. It's Tingle and Co. What up, Lord? What up, Lord? You can call me him. I'm Shay Dixon in the whip with them RPMs. Gotta pull up to the chat and shit out to them. Now trying to ball like Big Faulk, then get out the gym.
All right, good morning and welcome in here on this Wednesday morning. As Brian Burgess says every single Wednesday, happy Over the Hump Day. We appreciate everybody getting in here and starting your morning with us as we are live from Southern Regional Medical Center, SRMC. Shout out to Charles Harvey, Jason Ramazan, the rest of the team over here at SRMC. We appreciate them housing us and taking care of us and, coming through and hanging out with us every now and again. Obviously, we appreciate all of our sponsors that support us every single day, bringing you our show for free. All About Inflatables, all about holiday lighting, CAS Roofing and Advising, F45, Red Stick Spice. Who else? Who did I forget? AJ Sports Cards, of course. All the people that support us and have gotten us rocking and rolling. We appreciate all of you. Once again, Lloyd, it's just me and you today.
Yeah, I thought we were going to have more people.
It's just us.
We were supposed to have what?
I mean, there were days last week where we had that chair full, that chair full,
and that chair, yeah.
Nope.
That's okay.
Back to the bones
Back
of the
to
show.
where it all began.
Yep.
And
the Tingle and Co.
Quick two claps. Devin Johnson in the chat. Number 1 on the YouTube rap. Tingle and Co. Two claps ready. He did say for 2026, like, we could do that. We can run it back.
We can do that. Let's run it back. Let's go 2 years in a row. Look.
Ball up top.
NBA Youngboy's been my top artist on Spotify rap.
And we are just like NBA Youngboy.
Since I was 14 years old. So that's 9 straight years. And that's what Tingle and Co. should be for you on YouTube Wrapped. It is pretty cool because, Tingle & Co. didn't start until June of 2025. So missed like a solid 5 months there and made a raging comeback. Nice jacket.
My microphone covers it up.
A raging comeback to
I have a raging clue.
But we appreciate everybody that supported us all the way through. Let's run it back for 2026, of course. But I did see it in the chat, and I want to make sure we do bring attention to it. We did talk about it Sunday night when we closed out our show with Roe. That our prayers, of course, are with Kevin Faulk and his family. As some heartbreaking news over the weekend as he loses his oldest daughter, and what was a surprise. It was not an anticipated situation, and our heart breaks because Kevin, obviously a very good friend of us, of the show, when he doesn't have to be, a living legend in this state, got Super Bowl rings on his fingers. And he's been so gracious and great to us, right? He makes his way out to golf suites all the way from Lafayette to join us to talk LSU football when he doesn't have to. We are forever appreciative of Kevin, and we love Kevin. And it is heartbreaking to hear that news as he loses his daughter over the weekend. And I just want to say from Tingle & Co., obviously our heart, our prayers, our condolences are with Kevin and his family. And what was just sad news over the weekend. Thoughts and prayers with the Faulk family. And Kev, we're always here for you, and we love you. It was very, very sad to hear over the weekend, as Kevin is, like we said, just such a great person. And it really does suck when things like this happen in general, when it happens to somebody that is just so awesome, right? It hurts even more. So our prayers with Kevin Faulk and his family. But into the show this morning, there have been some murmurs and some talking points over the last 24 hours around LSU football as Frank Wilson gets on a Zoom call yesterday to preview the bowl game, which will be December 27th in Houston. The third Texas Bowl in the last 5 years?
It's the shades of. Do you remember? Age might get me here. Whenever Tulane and ULL would play each other in the R&L Carriers Bowl, they played like 5 times in a row. LSU was trending in that direction, apparently, which is not a great direction. Let's get out of the Texas Bowl. Let's get into the playoff. But great games have been played there. Been fun ones. Right. Leonard Fournette, Patrick Mahomes. That's the one I think of first.
Right. That's what was that back in 2016?
Yeah.
2015, 16?
Yeah.
That one, and then obviously you have the John Trey Kirkland game back in 2020.
It's a different one for sure. We fight like Tigers,
though. Last time LSU had a coaching change, they were in the Texas Bowl.
What's old is new again.
And then last season, obviously, they played in the Texas Bowl last year against.
That was a fun one.
It was.
Well, see, and that's what bowl games can do for you, right? Because I don't think you have this renewed sense of optimism going into this year. Obviously, it was a farce, but you have Garrett Nussmeier go for over 300 yards. Trey Green catches, 2 touchdowns. You see kind of like this offensive spark. Chris Hilton goes off. You're like, oh, shit, this could be fun. And you have Brian Kelly on the podium going, I'm taking receipts for going to the national championship after a Texas Bowl win over Baylor. And it's like, okay, I can get with it. And none of that happened. Literally the opposite of all of that happened. But it did make for fun talking points. So I look forward to the Texas Bowl. Once again, I do want to see if Lane Kiffin does the first 15.
It'll be interesting.
Do you think it looks any different? Like, why would he not? What else you got? I mean, you're here.
Yeah. No, I mean, I do. I think that there will be some bits and pieces.
Brian Kelly interview.
Of course.
But just coach the game.
Charlie Oliver, $2 super chat. Shout out Charlie Oliver, 574. Our guy Charlie. Prayers up for number 3 and his family. Go Tigers. Amen.
3 claps. Ready.
There you go. All eyes on 3. Yeah. No, I mean, I would be surprised. I don't know how much you're really banking on what you're going to see in the bowl game. I like the answer that I believe it was Glenn that gave it last week of, I mean, there's a few things. It's kind of more of a glorified tryout in a sense where they're going to be guys that are trying out in general for whether it's coming back to LSU or wherever you play next, and you did see that there were some guys that were not playing in the bowl game, opting out. That is one of the things that Frank said yesterday as he met with the media, was that there are a handful of Tiger players that will be opting out of the bowl game and not playing, looking to heal from some injuries, as Garrett Nussmeier, Mansour Delane, and Whit Weeks will be out of the bowl game.
What's up with the core here?
Those are two core injuries, and then Whit obviously he broke his ankle
at this game
last year, and then he broke it against Ole Miss, and so you will see.
Also,
you will not see those three guys.
Might throw it more than I do.
Shaking back, no chance. Shaking back from injury, Garrett Nussmeier, Mansour Delane, and Whit Weeks. But yeah, no, I'll be interested to see how different the offense looks. Frank did say in his meeting with the media yesterday, the coaches that coached LSU football at the end of the regular season will coach LSU in the Texas Bowl. So it will be the same coaches, right? Obviously, because LSU's future coaches are in Oxford right now, coaching the Ole Miss Rebels for a college football playoff game.
Who would you say is the cuck?
What do you mean?
Like you know what a cuckold is.
I do.
Is it LSU or Ole Miss?
No, it's not LSU.
Right. Technically we're watching.
Essentially we're sharing.
Yeah. We're the DOMs that sent the sub. Subscribe to the show.
Subscribe to the show, that's for sure. But yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see the coaching dynamic. You had to get out of that. The coaching dynamic as Frank Wilson and that staff will run things for this bowl game prep. But ultimately, you have a new head coach that's in the building, right? You have Lane Kiffin around, who is an offensive guy. Part of me doesn't think it's going to look different. Like, part of me thinks they're just gonna just ride this out. Get through it.
Think about it.
How much different can it really look?
Well, if Sloan's already taken another job, is he going to be here?
No. It's going to be Alex Atkins as your OC, calling plays. You're going to have Rattay as your quarterbacks coach, right? Frank is obviously the head coach. The defensive staff is already the same. You've got your few transfer portal opt-outs. You've got these injured guys. So it'll be a mixed match group. But what it won't be is 34 scholarship players against Kansas State with a wide receiver at quarterback. You might, however, have
a running back,
quarterback, cornerback, quarterback at quarterback, which would be awesome.
Fight like Tigers.
Which is what I'm rooting for more than anything.
That would.
Bowl game.
Hey, I put it out on Twitter whenever Juwan was putting his stats up, which are eye-popping and mind-boggling. That it's never really didn't give him a shot at all. I don't know. Obviously you were kind of set at the quarterback room, but now if there's any the Texas Bowl seems to be LSU's experimental, it's a testing ground. It's Area 51. We can do whatever we want here. And would that make you more intrigued or less intrigued? We got ourselves fired up whenever it was John Kruger. Dude, I don't know. You watch him in high school.
No, of course.
He do some things that never really got there.
Well, and then I think you realize how difficult it is to
play quarterback. Right.
Like,
against a team that is actually, they wanted to win too. And
right.
Wait, hold on. Give us a second to
he
figure
made a
this
couple
thing
of
out.
throws,
Yeah.
he threw the deep ball to
Chris Hilton.
Looked good. And
Chris Hilton's going to ball out this game. If history tells us anything, he got 3 touchdowns in the Texas Bowl.
And then he looked great in the ReliaQuest Bowl against Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And then he balled out in the Texas Bowl.
Right before that combine.
He's played good in bowl games.
He does. Imagine if you got him in a playoff.
You can just get him to the postseason.
Oh.
But that's the thing. I'm tired of the Texas Bowls. But does this not show that it is nothing more than just the reason why LSU's in the Texas Bowl against Houston is because they're trying to pack that stadium out, which is why you send LSU, who has a strong contingency in Houston,
and we're addicted to
Houston.
We're drug addicts for LSU football.
Right. So one thing, it's a 3-4 hour drive for you, right? But then there's also a strong contingency already there in the city that'll buy tickets, and they're playing Houston, which is in Houston. So
which has
they're going to sell. It's to sell tickets. That's
and
what
also
is.
That has Louisiana ties with Fritz.
Right.
I coached at Tulane, and I'm sure some people will be down there, easy drop from New Orleans.
No, there's a kid, Houston. There's a kid that played at Central High School last year that's at Houston right now.
Yeah.
There's.
And Houston has benefited now twice from LSU being in the newswire. where there was a renewed sense of optimism, right? You go from Ed Orgeron to Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly is around, and he's in the booth like, oh, let's see what it looks like. And then you had, I mean, obviously John Trey was electric. But now you have, again, you double-dip the chip with, oh, now Lane Kiffin's coming. And I'm sure Lane Kiffin, not one to shy away from a microphone, will probably be there.
Right.
And you'll get him in the booth. So they keep getting this fan base that goes, well, it won't be them coaching it, still I'll go see what we look like. If you're an LSU fan, and be like, okay, Lane Kiffin's around. Like, it's just a little bit, I mean, you saw the season tickets that just got sold.
Right.
I didn't even know there was that many available. I guess some people would just, after A&M and said, take them.
Maybe even after, some people probably checked out in 2024. It's like, I think this is probably what happened. They were going to wait and see for the Clemson game. So they opted out of the season tickets. Then Clemson game happened. So then they're like, okay, I'm going to go to the Tech game. And then they watch that and they're like,
never mind.
I don't know if I'm going to do this again. But that's why ultimately, and I said this last week, the reason why Kiffin was such a win for LSU is that exact reason. I don't think there was another option in the head coaching carousel that gets that excitement for LSU fans. I think there are coaches that you get excited, but I just think the way the Kiffin thing played out, if it was anyone else,
it's wait and see.
You don't
again.
have that excitement, that upfront excitement without even having to prove anything, right? It's wait and see. If it's Blake Baker, it's like, okay, we'll see how this song and dance goes. If it's John Summerall, it's okay, we'll wait and see what a group of 5 coach can do at LSU. If it's Eli Drinkwitz, the excitement isn't that high. If it's go down the list of other names, right? But no, you got the bright and shiny toy that everybody wanted. There was only one of them, and you got it, right?
You're Timothy Chalamet with the iPhone.
What is it? Is it Charlie and the Chocolate Factory where they get the
golden ticket?
But there's only one of them.
Right.
And you got it.
And there's a lot of people.
Grandpa found it in that chocolate bar.
Ugh. That guy.
Let's not get started.
Yeah, what a racket he was running.
Oh, I'm getting out of bed now.
Yeah, I'll go to see Wonka. Yeah, I'm with you. I got you.
I got you.
But it was because that, like, when you look at, Penn State kind of pulled a rabbit out of a hat with Matt Campbell. I'm not sure.
The story's unbelievable. They reach out to an agent to get in touch with Matt Campbell at the beginning. Not his agent anymore. So word never got to him that Penn State reached out. And so then they turn the page to other guys. They start looking elsewhere. Then they find out, wait, we never got in touch with him?
This is not good.
And so then they got in touch with him and he takes the job. Then he bends the bill of his hat in that video. Pissed me off. But
see, show your bill, because I think people are confused about a flat bill versus just a normal bill versus
just a normal curved bill.
Yeah.
Right.
Versus
but he
does the 7th grade baseball player in 1996.
But back to Lane Kiffin, like that season ticket allotment, right? The buying of that's the reason why it's such a success. The excitement around the program, and that's what I plan to ask Jacques about when he joins us at 8 a.m. this morning? Mm-hmm. Yeah, 8 a.m. this morning when JD joins us, because he's been around for it all. There's never been a situation that's played out like this, right? Where you have this much upfront excitement without anything being shown, really. Like, the excitement for Lane Kiffin was happening before he was even LSU's coach officially, right? And that's why you're selling 15,000 season tickets people were trying to apply for now. You also have a great schedule of home games next season. Let's not forget about that. The home game slate is electric. You've got Clemson at home, you've got A&M at home, you've got Texas at home, you've got Alabama at home. That is 4 big-time football games in Death Valley next season. So that already plays a factor, but think about what the feeling would be if it wasn't Lane Kiffin as your coach going into that, right? It'd be like, it'd be like a pig going to slaughter with Clemson week 1, and the excitement wouldn't be there for those games. You'd almost kind of be dreading them. But instead, you get Kiffin, the excitement's up, and then you look at the schedule and you're like, oh my gosh, Kiffin versus Dabo week 1, Kiffin versus Bama, Texas and Texas A&M coming to the stadium, right? Has Texas ever played in Tiger Stadium? Right? Like one of the biggest brands in the sport coming to the biggest coliseum of football in the sport.
I mean, it's been on the docket since 2020.
Right. Texas A&M, a revenge game. Like, it's a great home slate of football games, and you're getting to go into it with...
I can't wait to welcome A&M back with open arms.
Oh, I'm going to shake their hand.
I'm going to shake your hand, pal.
I'm going to shake their hand. We do need to give some congratulations, though, to 6 LSU football Tigers, as 6 LSU football players are on the all-SEC teams. I don't think these names are going to surprise anybody, except maybe one. You ready?
Ready.
You have 2 first-teamers. I'm sure you can guess those.
I can.
Let's hear them.
First team, Mansour Lane, AJ Halsey.
Easy. Was anybody surprised? Like I said yesterday, those are 2 first-teamers. And then you have 1 second-teamer that is Trey Green, right? And then you have 3 on the third team. Harold Perkins Jr., come on. And then 2 special teams guys, come on. Damian Ramos, all-SEC third team. And money well spent right here, Grant Chadwick, all-SEC third team. Talk about money well spent. You got 3 portal guys on that list.
I thought that shit was going to get you fired.
Come on now. Money well spent. You went and got 2 first-teamers and a third-teamer in the all-SEC coaches team. Congratulations to these 6 Tigers for recognition of their accomplishments this season. I know the season did not pan out the way many hoped and or expected. But, I think if you look at these 6 guys, right? Mansour Lane exceeded expectations.
Yeah.
AJ Halsey exceeded expectations. Yeah. Trey Green, I think, lived up to the he had high expectations.
Yeah, right where he could have been. He should be. He's a first.
He's a first teamer, right? First team talent.
You just have your first team talent. Got to utilize him that way.
Harold Perkins,
great comeback.
Right, the way he finished it out, I think, played a big part in this. He balled in those last 3 games. Damian Ramos, I think he did everything you've expected of him. He's done, right? 45 and in, he's gonna drill him. There's some occasional times that he's a little off, but he does his job. And then talk about expectations for Grant Chadwick. We're like, wait, they're going out and they're gonna get a punter out of the portal. Peyton Todd's gone, so you're going all in on Chadwick. Exceeded expectations, dare I say?
The bar was so low at punter. But yes, he came in
he
did his job. He only gave up 1?
Yeah.
And then Damian Ramos is like the like your country club stick. Like he'll shoot 72 to 74. He won't make the tour, but you never want to see him on the course. You don't want to play against him.
No.
He's a great member guest player.
Yeah, no, I don't want to play against him.
But yeah, Ramos has been like that's going to be an actual spot to have to fill. Like I'd imagine you go to the portal or it's Burrell, but it feels like they never trusted him.
I'm very interesting to see the development with Burrell because it's almost like I can't tell you the last time we've had this much potential and excitement around a kicker. He can boot it from 70.
But you don't ever get to see it.
But you don't ever get to see it. You've never really seen it.
But I've seen a lot of social media of him doing it.
And so we'll see how it ends up shaking out at the kicker spot. But yeah, it's a spot you're going to have to fill. I think you feel confident in cornerback behind Mansour Lane, safety behind Halsey, Trey Green, get him back. Perkins, I know that some people have debated whether he's going to return or not. He does accept his invitation into the East-West Shrine Bowl. So it's a Senior Bowl type event that you do whenever you're getting ready for the NFL draft. So I think that kind of answers the question. I don't think many really had questions after the way he closed out the season because he did play so well. I'm excited to see what Perk does. The thing about this offseason, one of the things I'm most excited about is Harold Perkins' draft process because he's going to test off the charts. He's going to play well in the Shrine Bowl and some of these other things. Really, really excited to see what it looks like. You already got clipped on Twitter, Lloyd. You already got clipped from this morning.
What did I do?
Your question of if LSU is if LSU is the cock.
Oh yeah, it's a good question.
Got clipped earlier. Somebody was like 7:15 this morning.
My
The
coffee,
question Lloyd
coffee and a
Courtney's
cuck.
asking. Some of the other
Put it on the
news-
poll.
No, don't. Some of the other news that came out over the last day or so is around Elijah Robinson and LSU. And obviously, like I said, Frank Wilson met with the media yesterday. Starting on the Elijah Robinson conversation, it does seem like it's been a kind of a bit of a roller coaster. Football Scoop has been the first with most of this information. They announced that LSU's looking to make a splash. Then he's in Baton Rouge at Football Ops on Friday. And then on Saturday, they say the splash is secured. Football Scoop does. That LSU's got Elijah Robinson to be their defensive line coach. And then kind of yesterday, they backtrack a little bit talking about Elijah Robinson and having other potential suitors, right? His alma mater's Penn State, played there, has coached there, had a relationship with Matt Rule at Nebraska. Those are the two teams that have hopped into the mix for Elijah Robinson as defensive line coach. It's Nebraska and Penn State to battle with LSU for that defensive line coach. If Robinson does not come to LSU, it's going to be very interesting to see the direction they go at defensive tackle coach, right? Peoples is staying as your edge coach. Williams, obviously, moving on. He stepped up, did it for you for a year. When you needed something, I think they were caught off guard by the Bo Davis move. You go out, you get Kyle Williams to come in, step up, answer the call, did a good job, right? Did a good job for Mother University. You thought it was going to be Elijah Robinson. Now that's up in the air. Where do they turn, Lloyd Courtney?
I am more interested to see if Elijah Robinson, obviously we've had a ton of talk about people going to their alma mater, wanting to have a passion for what they're doing with wherever they're coaching, and it feels like the lure and the draw is going back to your alma mater. For Elijah, I'll just read you when he was there. From 2004 to 2013. Does that ring any bells for what was going on at Penn State?
No, enlighten me, please. I'm just kidding. Do not. That smile's unbelievable.
Did he?
There you go. I mean, it wasn't exactly the brightest time to be a Nittany Lion at that point when he was there.
He didn't spell out the word rapper and leave out a P, did he?
Good one.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but I do think there's a level of excitement around Penn State now that Matt Campbell is there, because you think about where they were, right? That was about as low as you could be as a
Scramble
top-tier
mode
program, right? And then you get saved by Matt Campbell. Like ultimately, you
even
didn't know
even that story. I don't even know if I want that coming out.
Right,
but
it comes out. But ultimately, the reason you can let it come out is because
you got your guy.
You figured it out.
Sure.
You've got the guy, and I think there's going to be excitement.
We threaded the needle
as he builds his staff at Penn State. So I think there's a conversation there.
But if it's not Elijah Robinson, which is interesting because I do find like Football Scoop's been doing this a long time. And usually whenever they come out with something that's very much sourced, that has, like, they back it, and it usually rings true. And this felt all but done. And so I'm wondering what the material change was between LSU and Elijah Robinson. If maybe it's Matt Campbell getting hired at Penn State, and now it's, I'm getting a phone call to go back to his alma mater,
right,
as opposed to, like, it's somebody that you would want to hire. He's 40 years old. He's been,
of course,
able to recruit at a very high level, and
technically very good at coaching the
defensive line.
Right.
And he's been up north, like he was at Syracuse, so it's not like that far away to be able to, like, what about Elijah Robinson that absolutely came into Texas A&M and dominated the defensive line in the way he was ability to recruit? But if you're Elijah Robinson, how much does that call you back as opposed to what LSU just brought in and what you could do and what your legacy could be at a school that is known for defensive line play, right? And hasn't had any stability at that spot, and you could be the guy to kind of solidify what it is.
Look at the toys.
That's what I'm saying. Like look at what they brought. Like, this is not going to be the hardest position. I don't know what they have. Like Bronco Nagurski at Penn State. Like, what are you doing? But that's where I would lean if I were like, which job is better, right?
Right.
And I would imagine, but we always say, or at least I've been of the belief that the alma mater thing is real for everybody involved in college football. Like, for some reason, And I don't think it's that far of a stretch. Like, I understand it. Like, you want to go. You obviously picked to go to school there the first time. Played there. You have a calling to go back. I get it. But job-wise, do you want to go work with – like, Penn State feels like almost – maybe you have more job security. It's a rebuild. They're not going to be looking at you. If you come to LSU with that defensive line group and the expectations to coach those toys and it doesn't go well –
And also,
it's like, what are you doing?
I also
like, God, don't blame anybody.
Right. Like, I also think the alma mater thing, it's
so true.
It's become this a much bigger deal in the new day and age, right?
It should be.
Especially when the money's going to be comparable, right? Because I don't think LSU's going to, they've made it very apparent, they're not going to get outbid for what they want. But Penn State, I think, is in a similar spot to LSU where
they got plenty of money.
You're willing to flesh it out to get things right.
Right.
If that's the direction you want to go, you go make that happen. And so we'll see how it shakes out. And I think LSU, like I said, they're not going to let money be the deciding factor. I think ultimately it's going to come down to if Robinson wants to be at LSU or if he wants to be somewhere else.
And if it's not him, I feel like everybody is circling one, or at least one name comes up next.
Yeah, and I mean everyone's eyes turn to Coach O. And personally, I love Coach O. The most exciting time of my life was
his life,
and his life as well.
Maybe not.
They were. I don't know. I think it was pretty exciting. Maybe I don't know. Maybe 20 and 21.
I think 2020 and 21 it may have taken the cake for 2019. Ain't no ham sandwiches and chips.
But like what he did for LSU was awesome, right? And forever indebted to him. But I'm not the biggest bring O back guy. I love Coach O. The way it ended was a mess. I know he loves LSU. And I'm not saying I would be pissed off if they brought him back. I think the part of the reason why the conversation is so prevalent now is because of the Frank Wilson conversation. It's like, okay, well, if you lose Frank, you got to get somebody that's got the Louisiana in, the New Orleans high school in, and if it's not Frank, it's O. When you talk about probably the two guys that have the best relationships in New Orleans, it's Ed Orgeron and Frank Wilson. I think Lane Kiffin would be open to it. I don't think Kiffin would be worried about O being around and maybe the effects that could have of spotlight and excitement. Like I think Lane would be – I don't think Lane's insecure in that way whatsoever, right? He'd be comfortable. The dynamics would be interesting. Right? I mean, Blake Baker ultimately is the defensive coordinator. Would he want O as D-line coach? I think, when you just look at it on paper, it makes a lot of sense. But there are a lot of moving parts to this. And I don't know if I'm all in on the bring O back train, right? Because it was so messy at the end, right? And you just finished paying him buyout money, right? He's doing this media tour kind of, and maybe we'll get him in here on in one of these chairs next to Christian. He has a very good relationship with Lane Kiffin. They talked on the phone when Kiffin got here. I don't think any of those things are in question. I just think ultimately it's
just funny how his name keeps kind of popping up, whether it be the governor.
Would you be in or out? Like just straight up.
I wonder if I'm Lane Kiffin.
No.
I think it raises an eyebrow toward something that has been relatively clean in terms of the LSU perspective of it, where it's like, okay, Lane Kiffin, that's a lot in itself, right? Whenever you think about the personality, and then I look at it from Lane's perspective of if I have tried to revamp myself and kind of turn the page on maybe some previous behaviors where Ed Orgeron was a part of that lifestyle, I would imagine, where, Lane was kind of he was around.
Right.
And Ed Orgeron also, like, I think they were kind of running in tandem, running in circles together, right? And if you, I don't know, like if you're Jesse in Breaking Bad, do you ever want to see Walter White again? Like, I try to kind of not do this anymore. Right. And now, like, it's the Green Goblin mask.
Yeah.
It's calling to me. Like, I can see the benefit of it because we had a hell of a time and we're still boys. Like, he's still – obviously, they're still on great terms.
Well, and And on paper, like I said, it makes sense. You need Louisiana connections.
So what scares you about it?
What scares me about it? It's Coach O. I love him to death, but it's Coach O. Like, as much as I think back to like how cool 2018 and 19 were, you can't forget about 20 and 21.
But he's not the head coach. Because
No,
did we not all say, like,
Right.
hey, if you had never hired him as the head coach of LSU football, he would still be the defensive line coach and recruiting coordinator. The thing that draws me to Coach O, love him to death. I don't know how he's managed to do this to everyone because, like, nobody just thinks about 2020 and 2021.
No, you forget about
the
it.
depths of hell. But you just look at it, you're like, yeah, I get it. Like, you're invited to the party every time.
Because he's one of us, right?
Right.
It makes. I mean,
how many times
he's punched himself in the face before a game?
But that's, I think, is part of the issue.
Right.
Is how much does that overshadow Lane, or are they cool with, like, this is just Batman and Robin, like D-Wade and LeBron?
I don't think Lane would be phased at all.
Well, because they're gonna. It's not Lane. It's the media. Who are they going to talk to? Who's going to get a microphone?
Right.
But the allure of Coach O is if this Frank Wilson thing is trending in the direction of which I think it is.
Which it is.
Now
you need an in, right? That's what I'm saying. If it's not Frank, it's O. If you're talking about the best relationships in New Orleans and in the state of Louisiana, if it's not Frank Wilson, it's Ed Orgeron.
Ed rebuilt those bridges that were burned with all of the New Orleans schools and the head coaches, and they started having camps and inviting them to everything. He's like, look, we should be able to have a relationship together. I don't know how it got burned in the first place. I'd imagine it was less. And then when Frank left, then it was part of that deal where it's like, and then you brought in Jabbar Jalouk, and that was a disaster. And then but the ultimate firing of Jabbar Jalouk is what burnt the bridge. Right? Like, you got rid of one of ours. So Ed came in, rebuilt the bridges.
Right.
And so I'd imagine he still has a great relationship. Hey, there's not one person, I think, that doesn't like Ed Orgeron. It's unbelievable. Yeah. Almost got the Tulane job. But that would be if you want to do the pros and the cons, the pros of Ed Orgeron: recruiting prowess, personality. He would be welcomed back with open arms.
Right.
And you get the New Orleans connect that you're looking for with Frank Wilson. And what's the negatives? Him. Like, in a way, just
how much do you trust him, right? Like,
do you think this media tour he's been doing is helping or hurting him?
Hurting.
In terms of being a coach again?
And I think the goal is for it to help him, and I do think there are ways in which it's like help. But I just think, like, telling all these stories and letting some of, like, it gives me the impression of, like, okay, that's a guy that's not really worried about getting back into it because he's letting the cat out of the bag on all these old.
But do you think of it as getting back into it as a head coach or getting back into coaching in general? Because I
think he needs a job. He's out of.
No, I know that. Well, he's got a nice leather jacket, new teeth.
He looks great.
Skin is tight.
It's tight. But he needs a job. The buyout, like the last check just hit.
But that's why it makes sense that it's been kind of floating around, and there is the prevailing theory of if Lane wanted Frank back, he would already have been very secured in what his job would be, right? I don't know if they would say it out loud publicly, but it would be.
No, if Lane wanted Frank back, the deal would be done.
I think that would, because this doesn't help anybody or benefit LSU in any way of having this floating around of what are they going to do with Frank Wilson, and then you have obviously what the conjecture on Twitter and the internet of like, oh, he's doing all this. Like, none of that was true.
Right.
Like, y'all just take a beat. But none of that happens if you go, I'm absolutely going to retain Frank Wilson. It's an easy answer.
You saw that happen with Blake Baker.
Right. You saw how much
when he wanted Blake Baker is very, very obvious, very simple.
Corey Raymond, same thing. Like, didn't really say anything out loud, but it was very obvious that once you got the recruits in, it's like, oh, Corey Raymond's staying. And there's no reason to move him because he's in that position. And I don't know I do know that you don't work with somebody for 9 years, follow them to multiple stops, and then not expect to get a call if you're Kevin Smith.
Right.
And I think that's where it's heading. So if that's the case, there is
that's the
plug and play.
That's the only aspect
that makes it tenable.
That makes me okay. Is the fact that you get those connections back, because outside of that, you don't have those, right? When it comes just from a Louisiana, New Orleans,
on paper, it's a fix
overall, right? There are just a lot of things that with that move you can't put on paper. So we'll see kind of how it shakes out. It'll be interesting, and also just the dynamic between Baker and O, right? Like Blake Baker's not gonna want theatrics on that side of the ball. Like he's very much let's play football. Like that's why I think him and Kyle Williams worked so well together. Because
You never
it was
even
like,
saw Kyle Williams. I never saw him one time,
what do you mean?
like on camera.
Oh yeah, he's just working.
Right, like they never
I
like.
saw him on the
you
practice
would-
field. Like, consider, like,
well, no, I'm saying like.
no, he wasn't
pan the camera. ESPN.
He wasn't doing immediate. He got that group to play very good football.
Because
you saw Blake Baker and Kyle Williams walk arm in arm onto the field.
Right. But I'm just saying from a television perspective, O is going to be on the camera. Like you can't. That's just what ESPN does.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how much does Blake Baker want theatrics like that a part of it?
If it goes good, yes. Like he's oil and water sometimes, but sometimes that he can be butter and flour, and you make a delicious brew.
Right.
But as you're cooking with mercury, it can be very unstable. But if
And
everything goes right, you got perfect temp.
And I think it'll be interesting to see what other names pop up around the LSU defensive line coach. Because I think right now it's Elijah Robinson heavy. Like that's the name. If it's not him, the only name that's really popping up is O. And I just don't know how likely that is. Because I also think if O was the choice, I think O's almost like a fallback plan. Like if you
can always fall back to
like
O.
He's always going to answer the call. Right, so we'll see kind of what it looks like.
And also,
but I hate the situation that they're in, defensive line wise. Like what you really need, and I think my biggest fear with O, is you need someone consistent and it's going to bring continuity to that room. And there is a risk factor with O, where it might not be that pretty for you don't know how it's going to go, and there's a risk with it. And you need somebody because you've had 8 coaches in 10 years or 8 coaches in 6 years, whatever it is. Jacoby and Guillory's never had the same D-line coach for 2 straight seasons at LSU. Like it's just consistently gone from this guy to this guy to this guy to that guy. You've never had an answer there. And you need somebody that brings continuity to that room.
But would it not be... That could be Ed. Where else would he go? I don't think he's ever going to get a job.
That's not the leaving I'm talking about. I'm not scared of O taking another job. I'm scared of it not going well and he has to leave. You have to tell him to leave. There is a risk factor associated with it you cannot deny. There's not a fear of O's going to go take another job. It might be messy. It might not go that well, and you need somebody.
I just don't know how much trouble you can get in as a defensive lines coach. Like.
I'm not saying it's impossible.
And recruiting. But now, I mean, he said it himself. The only thing that's changed in the SEC is the bagman walks through the front door instead of the back door now. Like, he knows the game. And he's an excellent recruiter. Don't act like he's not.
No, I know 1,000%.
Yeah, I know you. But that's what I'm saying. Like, but he's. You're viewing him as if he were going to be head coach again.
No, I'm not.
But that's so. I think the risk is not that high.
It is. The risk is that you don't have a defensive line coach for.
We've gotten this far without one.
You haven't developed guys, because they're going from one style of coaching to another. Like Jacoby and Guillory broke out because he finally had a defensive line coach that fit what he needed in Kyle Williams. I mean, Dominic McKinley's been here for 2 years. He's had 2 different defensive line coaches. Jacoby and Guillory was here for 6 years. He had 8 different defensive line coaches. Like, you need somebody that can hold this position at least through a whole recruiting class. Like, I want somebody to see Lamar Brown and Richard Anderson through 3 seasons.
Okay, so that answer would be, and I'm glad somebody who said this in the chat. Rob Boudreaux. That's exactly it's Chris Kiffin. That's your fallback. And there's your continuity. He has coached defensive line at Arkansas State, Ole Miss for 4 years, or I guess 5, 2012 to 2016. Defensive coordinator at Florida Atlantic. It's clear who he's following around here. Pass rush specialist for the 49ers. Defensive line coach for the Browns for 2 years.
So he's got experience on both levels as a defensive line coach. And so I think
I think he has a relationship with the head coach.
Yeah. They eat at the same dinner table. Mm-hmm. I think you go all in at Elijah Robinson, and if it doesn't work, if he chooses Penn State or Nebraska, you just fall back on Chris Kiffin.
Yeah, and I don't think that would be the worst thing in the world. It's not like the sexiest thing. Ed Orgeron is the.
Well, of course, but I don't think Kyle Williams was the sexiest thing, right? I think, like Bo Davis, that was the sexy thing. Like, oh my gosh, finally! And then he takes the Saints job, and so it's like, okay, well, what? Kyle Williams, like it's fun, it makes sense, it works.
I do not blame him at all.
Who, Bo Davis?
Yes.
Oh, no, me neither.
This again?
I also don't blame Kyle Williams for not wanting to run this thing. He's like, oh, no, I did my job. I'm trying to go be retired.
He stepped up.
He answered the call from other universities.
That's right.
Um,
But I don't think you get the same inroads. That's what I'm saying. That's like this is a domino effect of if you don't retain Frank Wilson, it's not able to work. Like you don't now. Do you want Frank Wilson, Ed Orgeron, Lane Kiffin, Blake Baker, Corey Raymond all on the recruiting show? Probably.
Of course.
But I don't think you're getting all of them.
No.
It's a twofer. Because
Well, no,
I
you
do
have Blake
think if
Baker
you
and
don't
Corey
have,
Raymond.
if it is Chris Kiffin, then you still don't have that answer to who is your connect to New Orleans. Corey Raymond is from Westgate. He knows
No,
how
I
to
think
do this thing.
defensively you have relationships in the state.
Yeah.
Like Blake Baker, Corey Raymond, like you have those relationships with guys in the state. They've been here. This will be their third year, for guys like Peoples and like they've been here long enough. They've developed.
And you were able to get Lamar Brown and Richard Anderson.
Right. With Frank Wilson up in limbo. You were able to get 2 car guys and a U-High guy, 2 of them being 5 stars with Frank Wilson in limbo. And I think offensively, you were able to hold on to Jabari Mack out of Destrehan. You were able to go get the Braden Allen out of LCA. Like with your number 1 Louisiana guy not sure about his job, he said it himself yesterday. He was on the media and he said, I don't know what my future. We haven't discussed my future. I'm focused on coaching this bowl game, which ultimately,
to me,
what I think the timeline's playing out is you're waiting to hear from Kevin Smith. Right? It hasn't been. He didn't get on the plane. He stayed back in Oxford. His wife visited Baton Rouge. Lane is bringing him over, like wants to bring him over. I think it's obvious. He brought him from FAU to Ole Miss. He's going to want to bring him to LSU. It comes down to if Kevin Smith stays in Oxford or comes to Baton Rouge. I think ultimately he comes to Baton Rouge. With that, there's nowhere else to put Frank. Unless something shakes up with the current offensive staff, I just don't see. And I personally think it's in LSU's best interest to make it work. But if Lane, like I've said, if Lane Kiffin wants his running backs coach, he gets his running backs coach. And I think if Kevin Smith stays in Oxford, you keep Frank Wilson. If Lane wanted to keep Frank, he would have handled it the way he handled Blake Baker.
And
he would have made it happen.
When Barone says this, and I think it's an interesting talking point because I think this is the common sentiment is if it's not running backs coach, you still have to keep Frank in some capacity. And I don't know if I think that has probably been discussed in some capacity of what does it look like if you're not the running backs coach? And I don't know what the answer to that question is. But then it becomes you have what?
You have 10 on-field coaches.
That can go
and
recruit. But what does that actually mean? Like you're telling me Frank Wilson can't get on the phone?
I mean, I don't know how it works.
That's what I'm saying. Like, are we really?
I don't know if Frank Wilson's going into, he's going into houses to meet with parents on, going to in-home visits and those things if he's not one of the 10.
Why not?
Well, I mean, there are rules.
I was just visiting New Orleans.
So look, you have to be an on-the-field coach to recruit off campus, and right now, with the way it's currently laid out, there are not spots open to be an on-field coach.
Who was that old-ass man that was the wide receivers coach for LSU?
Old man that was wide receivers coach.
It was Justin Jefferson's freshman year. Remember this? And they parked him because he's too old to recruit. Like, he can't get on the road. And so they let Austin Thomas do it. Do we not have a situation like that where it's like, can't drive? Let Frank do it. Get a waiver.
I just think if you're trying to work this hard.
Jerry Sloan. There's two Jerrys mentioned today.
Yeah, there you go. A bunch of Jerrys. I just think
Jerry Sullivan. Yeah, Jerry Sloan's the coach for the Jazz, like way back in the day.
I just think right now, I think it's pretty obvious the way it's shaking out. And I don't think Frank Wilson's on your staff. And I think now that there has been a shift, I saw the Jakeem Stewart point in the chat, right? Where if Frank was who he is, Jakeem Stewart being on LSU's roster, Jakeem Stewart went to USC because they dropped a bag and LSU didn't pay up.
What did he do?
Didn't have anything to do with Frank Wilson's job. I mean, Frank Wilson did everything he could to get him to LSU. He, instead of letting him transfer from St. Aug to IMG or somewhere else, he sent him from Aug to Carr. He didn't even play at Carr. Right? He kept him in the state, recruited him as hard as he could. USC paid, LSU didn't, right? LSU wasn't in the game for paying players yet until the portal opened up, right?
I think that's changed.
Well, yeah, 1,000% that's changed. And so I think that's where your confidence comes in. If you do lose Frank Wilson, you know you have the money conversation to keep doors open. And so as much as I want to keep Frank Wilson, and it's going to suck if you don't, and I don't think that that's going to be the case, LSU will still be LSU, and they will be okay. The expectations for 2026 do not drop.
I just wanted to see what he was doing.
I mean, it's a big old dude.
He had a pick. 18 total tackles.
Yeah, I mean, true freshman. He's a good football player. He's an athlete. Like he's talented.
I'd like to have him on the defensive line.
Of course, I'd love to have him.
Probably
in
be
Baton
Ed's
Rouge.
first call.
Right, but the reason he didn't end up here wasn't because Frank didn't do a good job recruiting him. He ended up there because he got money spent on him at USC spent money. You know, I mean,
LSU wasn't in that game yet.
That's just not where LSU was at that point. So we'll kind of see how it shakes out. I'm going to be very interested to watch the D-line coach carousel spin around and see where LSU ends up. We will have Jacques Doucet join us in about 5 minutes to talk LSU football. The sports director over at WAFB Sports will join us to talk about all this. We'll ask him about the defensive line coach carousel, the Ed Orgeron discussion, the Frank Wilson discussion. And if you have questions for JD, super chat them right here in the chat, and we will get those in. Hashtag AskJD. What?
I like that
we'll
idea.
Get them. We'll get the questions to JD because there are a lot of questions right now. It's a busy time around LSU football. So don't forget, every single day we are brought to you by AJ Sports Cards right there at 3348 Drusilla Lane. AJ Sports Cards has supported us since the beginning. AJ Sports Cards answered the call before we even got this thing up and rolling here at Tingle & Co. and committed to supporting us to get this thing off the ground. And we want y'all to help support them. And the best way to do that this week is this Saturday, December 13th, from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. is the Baton Rouge Card Fest. They will have sports cards, Pokemon cards, a kids training area. It is a $5 admission with kids 12 and under get in free at Elite Training Academy, 5414 Burbank Drive, Saturday, December 13th, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And there will be 4 very special guests at the Baton Rouge Card Fest. Ben McDonald, one of the all-time greats. Ethan Fry, a national champion, a 2-time national champion. Daniel Dickinson, a national champion. And then, hopefully, a future LSU national champion. Harlan Berry will also be a part of that group. Ben McDonald, Harlan Berry, Ethan Fry, Daniel Dickinson will be signing autographs at the Baton Rouge Card Fest. Make sure you get out there at Elite Football Academy Saturday, December 13th, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. We will take a quick break here, and we'll be joined by Jacques Doucet, the sports director over at WAFB this morning. And after that, we will take phone calls. So we'll have JD, 8 a.m. We'll let you guys call in at 8:30. If you have any questions for JD, super chat them right there into the chat, and we will get those in right after this.
Also, real quick, late ad. I don't know if you said his name, but I was pulling this up. Leonard Fournette has joined the fold.
Let's go.
For AJ Sports Cards.
Let's go. Taking the place of Ben McDonald. Swap one LSU legend for another. You'll have 2 baseball players, and you will have 2 you have the number 1 running back in the country out of New Orleans from the class of 14, and then the number 1 running back out of New Orleans 10 years later in Harlan Berry. So there you go. Leonard Fournette, Harlan Berry, Ethan Fry, Daniel Dickinson. Get to the Baton Rouge Card Fest this Saturday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m.
So maybe you do want to keep those New Orleans roads open.
Wardos was created in honor of Alan Ward Granning III, fondly known by family and friends as Wardo. In 2019, the oldest brother of the tribe passed away unexpectedly. His remaining siblings and loved ones wanted to honor his memory in a special way. In 2022, Ward's family decided to combine the need for a sandwich shop in downtown Natchez with a desire to pay tribute to Ward's love of good friends, good times, and great food. Through blood, sweat, tears, and countless hours of hard work, Wardo's was born. So go visit Wardo's today at 309 North Broadway Street in Natchez, where the po' boys are so good, you'll swear you're in Cajun country.
Hey, Miss Lou, come visit us, Tom and Wright Granning at Go Martin on the Go Deli.
Go Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you may need.
Located at the corner of Highland Boulevard and Highway 61 South in Natchez.
Also stop by Wardo's Po' Boys at 309 North Broadway on the beautiful Natchez Bluff,
where everyone is family.
When it comes to your home, the roof over your head matters. At CAS Roofing, we don't just install shingles, we build peace of mind. With years of experience and a commitment to craftsmanship, our team shows up on time, gets the job done right, and treats every project like it's our own home. Whether it's a repair, a replacement, or a storm damage that caught you off guard, CAS Roofing is ready. We're local, we're dependable, and we stand behind every nail, every shingle, and every promise we make. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about roofing, it's about protecting what matters most. CAS Roofing, built on trust, backed by quality.
I'm Tom Granning with Go Mart and Wardo's Po' Boys in Natchez, Mississippi. On behalf of the Granning family, we invite you to run, stroll, or walk in the 4th annual Wardo's Rudolph Roll. Held on the beautiful Natchez Bluff, this holiday event keeps a 10K, 5K, and 1 mile kids run. The Rudolph Run supports the Ward Granning Memorial Scholarship, which has awarded over $20,000 to local high school seniors since 2020. Along with the race, enjoy live music, drinks, and of course, po' boys. For more information, check out Wardo's Facebook page. Hope to see y'all there.
Back here as we are opening up our number 2 here on this Wednesday morning. We are joined by the sports director over at WAFB 9 Sports, JD. Jacques Doucet will join us to talk some LSU football this morning, as there's a lot moving around the Tigers. JD, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, guys. Great to be with you.
We appreciate your time every single Wednesday. It has been quite the last couple of weeks. Is your phone still working correctly?
Well, it's working correctly. Maybe some people around me tell me put that damn thing down here and there. You know, it's a nonstop deal. It's the never-ending story. I think that was a movie in the 1980s, but it's certainly. You move from one thing to the other. I had a great interview with Zach Greenwell, who's a deputy AD over at LSU. I think he pretty much filled the role that Cody Worsham left, and we're having a half-hour Lane Kiffin special on Channel 9, 6:30 this Saturday, and he kind of took me behind the scenes a little bit, moving through the firing of Brian Kelly, the firing of Scott Woodward, leading into whether Lane Kiffin was going to come to LSU or not. One thing he said was there's something we called graphics graveyard, in which media people or at LSU have to make graphics and all sorts of things that sometimes may come to light, and you're able to use them if LSU wins a championship or hires a coach, or click Alt Delete, right, and get rid of them. I used to joke kind of like Buffalo Bills Super Bowl T-shirts. They made those, and then Buffalo never won a Super Bowl, and then you ship them off. But I think that the staff is kind of settling in. The signing class has been made. I guess there's one position on the staff or a couple that we need to see what's going to happen. What's the future of Frank Wilson at LSU? Who's the defensive line coach? And now LSU going to a bowl game, and it's I don't know. I don't want to. I want to get excited about it. I grew up on bowl games. I liked bowl games. And 10 years ago, this would look a lot more interesting. Houston gets to play in their hometown. They get the opportunity to play LSU, put a lot of red in the stands. Of course, I think Houston is LSU's biggest alumni base biggest alumni base city outside of Baton Rouge. So I'm sure there'll be some LSU fans there as well. But who's going to play in the game and all those kind of things, we'll have to wait and see.
And then, JD, if you look back at Lane Kiffin's first week and all the things that you described that went down in those first 7 days, how would you grade the first week as head coach? Like when you're looking at the president, the first 90 days, the first 7 days as LSU head football coach, how would you grade the start to his LSU tenure?
Well, I think that there were some people a little nervous at the beginning of the week. Now, when he first got to Baton Rouge on the Sunday, Michael Caldwell had the great shot of him and Coach Kiffin and Lamar Brown stepping out onto the balcony at Football Ops, and everyone cheered. And then after that, there was some trepidation about these defensive linemen, Richard Anderson from Carr in New Orleans, Lamar Brown, U-High here in Baton Rouge. Some guys did not sign on signing day. And talking to my guys in recruiting, like Mike Scarborough, who followed this stuff much more closely than I do, that the defensive linemen were the utmost importance in this recruiting class. Those were the people they had to have, and so didn't sign on signing day that Wednesday. But then the Friday, I think we'll look back on as a fantastic Friday for Coach Kiffin, not only signing 3 defensive linemen that day, but also talking pretty closely to people in the situation. Blake Baker was pretty torn on Friday afternoon in terms of what he was going to do. Does he stay at LSU as a defensive coordinator, or does he go to Tulane to become the new head coach? And I think that Coach Baker had told players, recruits, that he was staying. I think he felt that he needed to stay to be loyal to what he told them. I think that his family got tired of moving. They've been moving a lot in previous years, and some people may say, "Oh, well, it's just an hour down the road." It's still moving. It's still your kids having to make new friends and go to a new school, and certainly he's going to be well compensated. I mean, he's going to be paid over $3 million a year to be the defensive coordinator at LSU. So they'll take care of him, and there's pressure to win now at Tulane too. Not to say that he couldn't do it, but I think Tulane is like 43-12 in the last 4 years or so. So they're winning lots of games over there. And, if you go over there and go 7-5, they won't be happy with you. And what's your roster look like? How many people is John Summerall taking? How many players is he going to take from Tulane to Florida? I don't know. But so you keep Blake Baker. And, of course, Blake Baker is attached to your Kevin Peoples, your edge rusher coach. And then Jake Olson there in the secondary with the safeties. Keeping Corey Raymond certainly is very important, I think, especially for players like DJ Pickett. And so now you just see what happens with the D-line. Apparently this Elijah Robinson is getting cold feet maybe, or second thoughts. I'm not quite sure. I've just kind of read what's been going on. And so, yeah, I think it was a big week for him. And now I guess some of his coaches can coach Ole Miss in their playoff game. I think that one way or the other, Ole Miss is set up, or the situation is set up for Lane Kiffin to be viewed poorly by Rebel fans. If they go and flame out in the playoffs, it's his fault because he disrupted the continuity and caused a big distraction to the team. And if for some reason they would go on a run and win the whole thing, they'd say, hey, see, we proved it. We can do it without you. So it's going to be very fascinating to watch, especially this first game when you got Ole Miss and Tulane playing in Oxford with all the connections of the coaches and the storylines and all those different things.
And you bring up Elijah Robinson and the defensive line coach position. And like you said, there's been a lot of conversations around, maybe second thoughts, cold feet, that sort of situation. But that's really the only name you've heard pop up around the D-line coach besides maybe one name that I think is more so the fan base than anybody bringing it up. What are your thoughts on the potential of a Ed Orgeron return as the defensive line coach at LSU?
Well, I think it's pretty clear he'd do it.
Right.
Yeah, there's certainly a lot of people out there who, if they were the head coach at a major school like LSU and were the head coach of the greatest team in the program's history and were let go, they probably would not return to that school as an assistant coach. Pride, ego, whatever you want to say. But in Coach O's case, I think because of his relationship with Lane Kiffin and the fact that they're friends and that Coach O would do that. Certainly Tulane has chosen a head coach. I think Coach O was very interested in that position as well. So Tulane has filled that spot. I heard some, this is strictly rumors for a forum like this one. I heard some stuff about Orgeron perhaps joining John Summerall at Florida. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. We'll see. But, I think it would be hilarious on one hand to see that happen. And certainly I think that a lot of fans, I think more fans than not, would certainly embrace Coach O returning as a positions coach, coaching the D-line and recruiting for LSU. Certainly it ran its course as the head coach, him being in charge of the whole thing. But if he could be a great recruiter for the program and be a D-line coach, I think a lot of fans would certainly get their arms around that. Your staff with Kiffin and Corey Raymond and Blake Baker, and I think that would go over pretty well. But I haven't heard a whole lot about that happening yet. So we'll have to wait and see. I think it's interesting sometimes what fans want and sometimes what we want in the media and what reality is.
Right. Sometimes
are far apart.
And I think a lot of why there is maybe the conversation around it is more so the recruiting aspect. If you do lose a guy like Frank Wilson, wanting someone like Ed Orgeron to come back in to keep those relationships intact. What are your takes and your thoughts on the current Frank Wilson situation and kind of how you think that'll play out over the coming weeks?
Well, I just want to be objective about it. I love Frank Wilson. He was my neighbor. We lived in the same neighborhood here for a while. I'd see him, and certainly he has recruited numerous high-profile athletes to LSU. He has brought in guys like Leonard Fournette and on down the line, big-time running backs. And would I like him to be back? Sure. I'd be happy if he comes back, and I think he'd be a great asset to LSU. On the other hand, I'm not a big fan of the bring back Frank Wilson or else crowd, where it's kind of like extortion, like, you better do this type thing. I think that it'd be great to have him back, but life would go on if he would not be back. This is not me trying to be ugly or whatever, but if you look, he was not on the staff in 2003, 2007, or 2019. Those were years LSU won national titles and built national championship teams. He was on the 2011 staff, which for the most part I'd put up against any of those three teams. So I think that either way, I think LSU will move forward and do well. If he is back, that is great. If he is unable to come back, then I think LSU will survive and they will move forward. I'm trying to think what else I was going to say on the matter, but certainly hoping that it works out for him. He's got a long history, 30-plus years of recruiting South Louisiana, his connections to New Orleans. He will coach this bowl game. I hope he's able to at least win the bowl game. I think he did a fantastic job in terms of keeping the rats from running off the ship, so to speak. I mean, there were no mass defections. There weren't a bunch of guys opting out on the team after Brian Kelly was fired. I think the team played hard. They certainly gave great effort. You saw that at Alabama. You saw that at Oklahoma. I just think that your offense was so disproportionately inept in comparison to your defense that they were unable to win games. But it would be nice, to see him as a head coach for one last time for LSU, go win this bowl game in Houston and close out the year on the right foot. A bowl game, by the way, that is really quirky in terms of, LSU going to have to leave Baton Rouge on Christmas Eve, spend Christmas Day in Houston. There's not a whole lot of media opportunities for us to shoot and, go do things. I used to think one of the best things about bowl games was, especially the ones in Florida and others, they'd make the offensive coordinator available. They'd make the defensive coordinator available. It'd be like the only time of year you'd hear people like Steve Ensminger and Dave Aranda do a press conference. But I don't think the Texas Bowl is doing much of anything. And so from a media standpoint, I think we might get there on the 26th, the day before, and then, just cover the game, which, by the way, is a 8:15 or whatever kickoff at night. So it's a late start on a Saturday night. So anyway, that's the bowl situation for Frank Wilson and the Tigers.
Sound thrilled.
Well, I got the best job in the world. I'm not complaining, but I'm just, I like bowl games. I grew up on them. I thought that they always provided an opportunity to – these are things a lot of people say or they don't care about. I thought it was always a chance to finish higher in the rankings, like if you were 12th or 13th, or you play a nice bowl game, you win, you finish in the top 10, you say you have a top 10 finish, you have 9 wins, it looks a lot better on paper to go 10-3 than 9-4. Momentum for the offseason. I mean, Lloyd, you remember we had a conversation the other day in a chat. I was saying in 2005, would you rather the season end with you getting smashed by Georgia in the SEC championship, or would you rather the season end with LSU smashing Miami 40-3 in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl and have that kind of feeling into the offseason? I think that's what bowl games provide, or they did provide. But then at the same time, Brian Kelly's first year, LSU goes and beats Purdue in the bowl 63-7. They don't move up a single spot in the final rankings. I mean, they get 10 wins, but so I think. And then sometimes we made too big of a deal out of, win the bowl game and you got momentum into the offseason. Well, LSU, 10 years ago, it goes to show you how much bowls have changed. 10 years ago, LSU plays Texas Tech in the Texas Bowl, and it's sold out. It's wall to wall. I mean, it was rocking. The most rocking atmosphere I've ever seen for a bowl game outside of a national championship or a playoff. And Texas Tech has a quarterback by the name of Patrick Mahomes playing, who at the time you just say, okay, this guy's another stat machine in Texas Tech's offense. He's not going to be a NFL quarterback, and certainly proved us wrong there. Leonard Fournette, I think, scored 4 or 5 touchdowns running free, and LSU wins that game to put up 56 points. But what did it matter in the following season opener when you play in Wisconsin and you lose the game because your offense is inept against the real defense? So that's where kind of bowl games are. They've kind of become the NIT. Like the NCAA tournament is the in basketball, it's the one you want to make it, and then a lot of teams say, "Nah, we're not going to play in the NIT." Ben Simmons, that's what's happening these days with football.
And now that you bring up that bowl game with Leonard Fournette against Texas Tech, where he did run for almost 3 bills and 5 touchdowns, do you think that was the reason maybe Les Miles looked back and goes, "No, you know what? I'm not going to change the offense. This seems to work just fine."
Well, I think if you remember in the Texas A&M post-game press conference when they won, and I think just literally found out he was going to remain the coach. I mean, they carried him off the field. I remember the guys carrying him. I think it was like Christian Lockature and some of those guys, KJ Malone. I think he thought when he's being carried off, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he got his feet back on the ground off the shoulders of the offensive lineman. They told him, Coach, you're going to stay. You're the head coach. And then he immediately goes to the podium, and I think it was the late great Ed Daniels asked him, Coach, are you gonna revamp the offense? And then he immediately got defiant. Coach Miles did, and said, revamp the offense. Does that mean change the whole engine? Does that mean Leonard Fournette? Because the engine's pretty stinking good.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, so it was clear right in that moment that he was going to continue to say, hey, we're going to get our big star running back and bang away, you know. And for the most part, that worked until you play Alabama, who puts 35 people in the box, and you're still trying to run the ball, and you can't throw it down the field. So, but yeah, that was and if you remember, which I'm sure you do, they went to they played this. Everything was perfect, but the game. They go to Green Bay, Wisconsin. It's beautiful. It's cool. It's you're in like football royalty is all around you. Football history. You're at Lambeau Field, you know, and first two plays of the game, I think, were tossed dies with Leonard Fournette, and LSU lost 16-14. I think Tre'Davious White actually had a touchdown on a pick six. LSU only scored one offensive touchdown. Had a chance actually to drive the ball down the field at the end, and looked like they were going to maybe get a chance to get Kobe Delahousse in range to kick the game winner. But then I think it was a first down or something. They blitzed Harris, and Brandon Harris just threw the ball up and to a red jersey who caught it, and that was the end of the game.
Oh yeah, then you had
got mauled.
Yeah, then you had they didn't know he was down,
Sure.
and he was celebrating. Yeah, that was a scene at the end of that
Little
game.
clothesline?
Yes, by an offensive line. I don't know what I'm doing, but yeah, the engine was pretty stinking good that A&M game where LSU and Brandon Harris were 7 of 21 with one interception for 83 yards. Maybe we should reevaluate, but that's just me. Is he not the luckiest man in the world where he's getting carried off the field thinking this is my coup de grace, and it's like, actually, you're coming back next year. It's like, oh, look at me again.
Well, I think it was emotional decisions made against A&M 10 years apart. I think in that game, LSU did not look like a fantastic football team. They won the game, but I think they decided in the press box we're keeping Les Miles. And then this year against Texas A&M, LSU's up at halftime, and then they have the worst third quarter in the history of third quarters, give up a big punt return, and look like they quit. And I think it started to be decided then. The optics looked so bad. The stadium emptied out. The A&M students took over the LSU student section. Verge is leaning up against the goalpost in the north end zone, staring out into space. And I think that, the emotions got going there. And by Saturday evening, LSU had announced that Brian Kelly was on his way out. So there you go. Emotional decisions against Texas A&M 10 years apart.
Yep, one it feels like may work out better than the other. But when you think about that, aside from the emotion being, I guess you take it out of it, even though I do think that Texas A&M was the impetus of change for LSU to absolutely make a switch, because I don't think the excitement level would be the same going into 2026 without Brian Kelly being fired and obviously Lane Kiffin being hired. But you saw the ticket prices not change, but then the ticket sales go up. If there isn't that Texas A&M game and Brian Kelly, what would be the outlook around LSU for 2026?
Well, I mean, if they did enough to keep his job, I mean, it's hard to do.
Let's just say with Brian Kelly.
Yeah, no, I think that. I mean, and that was the information. That was one little tidbit that I shared yesterday that came out in the interview with Zach Greenwell. He told me that since the hiring of Lane Kiffin, that LSU season ticket requests are 15,000. He told me that's already surpassed what they had all of last year, and about 7,500 of those, or half of the 15,000, occurred in the first 24 hours of hiring Lane Kiffin. And so. And then, which I ask, I think LSU has been sold out on season tickets for years. I think it's around 75,000 or something like that they sell. But he said that with those requests, you begin to connect with people, you begin to network, and then you also begin to the corporate sponsorship, the donations, all those things go up. And I think, I don't think Brian Kelly at that point, or at this point, I don't think he was doing a whole lot to move the meter with the fan base. I think the fan base, for the most part, accepted him as a pretty good coach, but had plateaued, was not going to take LSU to the next level, was getting a bit older and just stale. We use that word a lot around here when coaches, even when they're not bottoming out, if they're winning, they're still winning okay, but it's just gotten stale. It's not going to the next level. You don't feel like it's going to the next level. And certainly I think this was his worst team of the four at LSU. So you take a guy like Lane Kiffin, who is a very young 50 years old, who is connecting with fans on Twitter. Heck, he's retweeted you guys. He's retweeted me a few times. He's connecting with the local media at 4 a.m. He's up
Right.
working and retweeting. I mean, and I just have visions of him wearing, a purple shirt and a white visor with a little Mike the Tiger in the middle, pumping his fist after a big touchdown call and fans going ecstatic. I think that he really leans into a large segment of the fan base who wear the Play Neck T-shirt and the STTDB T-shirt. They love the kind of anti-authority figure, and he is kind of be youthful and energetic, and I think that that's going to be a big contrast to Brian Kelly, who was came across more, at least that's what they purchased.
Rule for thee, but not for me.
What's that?
Rule for thee, but not for me, Brian Kelly.
Yeah. And I think it was, and then sometimes it was things like, even when Brian Kelly was correct, for example, the end of the Arkansas game this year, Harlem Berry slid down. And that was the right thing, and he was coached up well by Frank Wilson. That was the right thing to do. When LSU played Missouri in 2023, at the end of the game, Major Harris intercepted a pass.
Major Burns.
And by coaching rule, he should have slid down.
Right.
Okay. Now, it's hard to tell any 18 to 22-year-old who intercepts the ball and has 5 yards of green in front of him to not score a touchdown. But technically, he should not have scored. He should have slid down, because LSU, even though they scored the touchdown, they had to kick off. They had to go back on the field and play defense. If he slides down, they kneel it out. And in the end, well, Brian Kelly, at the end of the game, I asked him about it in the post game. He goes, he knows better. He knows he shouldn't do that. Go down, And the fans just jumped all over Brian Kelly, like, you old no fun guy. You don't get us. You don't understand the fan base. And it was basically the same thing that happened in 2 cases. So, I think that they're going to want to – I think Lane Kiffin will really engage and excite people around here. Now, is he going to do a coach's show like TJ Ribbs every week? I'm not sure about that from what you hear. I don't know if he did one at Ole Miss, but I think if he wins, and winning I think is 10-2, winning is not 8-4. But if he's 10-2 and makes playoff appearances and wins some playoff games, that's what you want. I mean, I ask, what's the difference between going 7-5 and not making a playoff, and 10-2 and making a playoff? And it is a huge financial impact and difference at LSU if they can do that.
And then last one, JD, has there ever been this high a level of excitement with an LSU coaching hire than how it is right now?
Well, let's see. I mean, in my lifetime, certainly not with Mike Archer, certainly not with Curly Hallman. I think Jerry DiNardo did a very good job early on. I think he generated a ton of excitement early on, doing a lot of things that, you have to keep in mind where LSU was. They had 6 straight losing seasons. They had not been to a bowl game in, like I said, those 6 years. And he came in immediately and got Kevin Faulk to sign with LSU, who changed everything. LSU was not cool. Kevin Faulk made LSU cool again, and then had a lot of people sign. A lot more people signed because Kevin Faulk was going to LSU. Jared DiNardo brought back the white jerseys. LSU had been playing home games in purple, and fans loved those white jerseys, which is kind of ironic because I think last year they wore like 12 different jerseys.
Right.
Wear the white jerseys. old man here. But yeah, I think Jerry DiNardo did a lot of things early on that really excited the fan base and energized them. And then after that, I think that I think a lot of people didn't really know a whole lot about Nick Saban when he became the head coach, honestly. He was head coach at Michigan State that DiNardo beat in the Independence Bowl in 1995. His record wasn't much better than DiNardo's, about the same. Who is this guy? Why are we paying him $1.2 million? I think that was a view by a lot of people. Les Miles definitely was not an energizing hire at the time. He was 28-21 at Oklahoma State. I think in his last game at Oklahoma State, he was drilled in a bowl game, 31-0, if I'm not mistaken. That definitely was not exciting. And Ed Ogeron, I think a lot of people were like, this could either really work or this is going to be a huge disaster. And so that was not. So, yeah, I would think that in my lifetime, Bo Ryan was named the head coach in the late 70s, and he tragically never coached the game because of a plane crash. He was going to take over for Charles McClendon and then Jerry Stovall and then Bill Arnsparger. So, yeah, I think that as far as a head coaching hire in the last at least 45, 50 years, he has energized the fan base like no other coach has.
Well, JD, we appreciate your time. What do y'all have going on over at WAFB?
Well, once again, Lane Change is the name of our Lane Kiffin special that's going to air.
Oh.
You like it? You like it?
Did you get that from somebody else, or is this original?
I cannot take credit on that one. I was given a selection of 6 of them. There was a couple that did not work. Kiffin's Kingdom, nah. It's a couple other ones that, just the whole, the Lane train it was great, but everyone's used it. So I like the Lane Change. I thought it was perfect. So we're going to go with that. 6:30 WAP Saturday night. Roundtable discussion with some media members: Mike Scarborough, Jordy Collada, Rohan Davey. Even got sound from Jay Johnson, LSU baseball coach, on Lane Kiffin. Said a lot of great things. And also Kramer Robertson, who's now former baseball star, working alongside Verge Osbury in the department there. And so that'll air this week. John Eads and Kevin Baptiste will be in the Superdome. We have state championships. We have teams. Dunham's playing for a state title. Ascension Catholic playing for a state title. Riverside will be in the Superdome. We'll be covering that. And then basketball. Kevin Baptiste will be in New Orleans on Saturday. There's the basketball doubleheader. Both the LSU men and women are playing in the Smoothie King Center. I had a much harder time getting inside the UNO Lakefront Arena to cover the game and finding the proper entrance on Sunday for the LSU women than the women had playing UNO. I'll tell you that. Right. Had about 100 points at the end of the third quarter. So Kim Mulkey's got it. I mean, we've been obviously and understandably consumed with football and all that, but I don't know if this can be Kim Mulkey's best team, considering she had a national championship team her second year. But this team is loaded, and they're exciting. I realize they have not played South Carolina and a lot of tough competition yet. But when you score 100 points or more in 9 of your first 10 games, it's exciting. So that's all coming up. And then check out the latest Jacques Talks. We've had some great conversations at WAFB.com and our YouTube page.
Well, JD, we appreciate you as always, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We appreciate you. There he is. Jacques Doucet, the sports director over at WAFB. Great, as always. I mean, he gets in here. I mean, I tell you what, when you get JD talking about LSU history, there might not be a better segment or source in Louisiana in general. Like, I mean, he can just spit it back at you, players, coaches, names, scores, times, games, all of it.
It's going to be you.
Think so?
Not me. I don't remember anything. Sorry.
You did black out from about 2012 to 2017.
Yeah, literally. That's not my fault. What is there to look at?
Yeah. No, I mean, there was after one game in November of 2012 that happened, and then you woke up when Joey B called an audible.
Look, I was
Miami.
Present.
So you were there.
It's not accounted for. God, that was.
Look,
Arkansas is on the schedule. That's a loss. How?
We appreciate JD. makes time for us every single week and does a great job. And I'm sure that roundtable on Saturday will be entertaining to listen to. A lot of different perspectives on the move. And, obviously Rohan does an excellent job, and he has been very gracious with his time with us. Like we said, if you didn't go check out what we posted on Monday, Cooking with Ro, it was great stuff as he cooked up some jerk chicken wings. Shout out to Rohan Davey. But we're going to get to you guys. We're going to let y'all call and get your takes and thoughts in here this morning, as it is right after 8:30. We'll let y'all get a couple of phone calls in. Your thoughts, takes, questions here on this Wednesday morning. As there's a lot going on around LSU. LSU football, like JD said, LSU women's basketball, LSU men's basketball had a tough loss, their first loss over the weekend. And there's some excitement around LSU baseball. I started getting some baseball texts. Now that football's coming to a close, people are like, how good do you think this team's really going to be? And I was like, Jay Johnson sat there in a presser and said, hey, we've played a purple and gold World Series every single season. This year I don't think we really need it. I know what we got. And I was and you also won a national championship in 2 of those years, and this is the most confident you've been?
Right. It could go one of two ways, correct? Where it's like, I don't know if I want to put this product out on the field.
Right.
Or I think we're in a pretty good spot.
And I think Jay Johnson's earned the credibility and the trust with the fan base. After 2 rings in 3 years, if he's confident, he's let's ride with it. And I'm excited. I'm excited for them to get on the diamond.
I'm not trying to gatekeep LSU baseball, but the more this happens, concerned again about the casual takes that you have to fend off with a stick.
Oh, I love it. It's just what makes it different. Like I
love being right. So.
With baseball, it's it was different because as much as some of them were understandable, there were some rough games, things that didn't look good, and it was what ultimately you sat back.
We're not undefeated.
Like, let's just trust Jay Johnson, and it usually works out.
So keep that same energy of let's not hop on the bandwagon to hop off at the first stop. If we're going to ride, let's ride together.
Let's do it. Jay Johnson
Express.
Come on. Let's take some calls here this morning. What's that phone number?
That phone number is on the screen. I was trying to think of something to put at the bottom. What would that be?
Well, you got to come up with something good, Lloyd. People
expect
you to be a funny guy.
That's right.
You can't be boring.
Lane change is good.
Lane change was good. I like that.
Riffing with Kiffin.
I would have said changing lanes.
Yeah.
But I guess it's lane change. Lane change. I get it.
Riffing with Kiffin. It's going to be his 30-minute podcast.
There you go. Oh, welcome back this morning. We're going to be riffing with Kiffin. Come on.
Actually, I don't want this job.
Never mind. 225-267-7812. 225-267-7812. We will take you guys phone calls here this morning. If you have any takes, any questions, any thoughts, get it in. Let's talk to you. We haven't spoken on the phone in quite a while. I think the last time was a Sunday emergency stream after Lane Kiffin gets hired, and it's been a little minute since we let you guys call in. So I'm excited to do that this morning. Your thoughts, takes, questions, ready to answer them all.
Life in the fast lane.
Okay, the fast lane. What else is a good one?
Lane's easy.
Yeah. You can come up with many things for Lane. Lane shift. Lane departure.
Mm-hmm.
Lane assist.
Lane duck if it doesn't go well.
Okay. I don't want to speak that into existence.
Me either.
Now. Let's see. Andrew Machine, a Great Eagle song. What is the Great Eagle song? Lane change? Changing lanes? Change Lanes was a Kevin Gates song. I know that one. The Eagles. Not a big Eagles guy.
Oh, they beat Ole Miss.
Mm-hmm. Life in the Fast Lane.
I just said that.
That's it. But
it's a song? Yeah, sure. Credit to the Eagles, I guess.
Credit to the Eagles. Stay in your lane.
You do. You beat whether it be Alabama, whatever game you want to pick. You do Slane, S-L-A-N-E, and that's just the newspaper headline.
The Tide Slain.
Mm-hmm. Oh, here we go.
We got a phone caller?
Marksville.
Got us a phone caller here on this this beautiful Wednesday
Press 1.
morning.
To send a voicemail, press 2.
I'm pressing 1.
What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Landon Baroni from
Landon.
Lafayette.
Oh.
What you got for us?
I just wanted to hear what y'all would like to see from Lane in the transfer portal based on who LSU's losing and what y'all think about Kewan Lacey and Trinidad Chambliss and the possibility of getting them.
Yeah, no, look, I mean, if you can get Chambliss and Lacey in Baton Rouge, I think you would be hard-pressed to find anyone upset about it. But in the portal for Lane, obviously, I think you need to add some key offensive linemen. Will be a big move. Obviously, you need a quarterback. I don't think LSU's quarterback is on the roster currently, as there's only one guy in that room at the current standing. You're going to need that. You're going to potentially, you will see what happens in the running back room. That will be a key need. You're going to want to add some depth on the defensive line, maybe a safety or two. The edge room, I think you'll add some pieces. I think defensively, they'll kind of pick and choose their spots. Defensive line, I think, is where they'll hit mostly. And then offensively, you kind of have to re-up. When you clear out a staff and you have something that looks that bad, I think you bring Lane Kiffin in to identify his talent, quarterback, running back, offensive line, and potentially a handful of wide receivers as well.
Yeah, I agree with that. Do y'all think Xavier Atkins might come back at linebacker from Auburn?
I don't know if Auburn can let him go.
Yeah, I think there would be a real conversation if Durkin didn't return as the defensive coordinator. But I think him coming back and the way Atkins has played in his system, I think there's probably some excitement to stay with your guy for sure.
If I'm Atkins, I am sprinting away before we get into off-season conditioning with DJ Durkin.
What about Kewan Lacey? I was having a conversation in the chat.
Oh, yeah, this was your question.
Kewan Lacey will be better next year than Harlem Berry? Because I do.
I think you're betting on the I don't want to say sure thing, but the more proven commodity in Kewan Lacey versus taking. Do you want 1 year of Kewan Lacey or 2 years of Harlem Berry? I don't think you've even begun to scratch the surface of what Harlem Berry can be. I know Kewan Lacey is a very good running back, and in that system it works. It's proven. But I'm a star fucker, as they say, and I would like to see Harlem Berry in the purple and gold and see what the potential of that, and the comparisons to Reggie and Joe McKnight, rest in peace, are all very valid. So I'd like to see LSU for once have a game breaker like that at that position. But that's just me. I know what Kewan Lacey is. I know what he'll do, and it's a proven thing of what you'll get in that offense with Lane Kiffin. It's hard to pass up on, 23 touchdowns this year, 22 touchdowns? Yeah. But I
agree completely.
Yeah, I would like to keep both and all three if I could.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully Caden Durham will look better, too. To me, he looked slower this year, like he was hurt.
Yeah, he was battling through some injury stuff for sure. So we'll see kind of how that room shakes out. I think it's going to be one of the more interesting ones to watch, as you kind of debate the position coach and then what the room looks like. But, Landon, we appreciate your time and your questions this morning.
Thank you.
All right, appreciate you, brother. Also very interesting is I was just reading about Ole Miss and Trinidad Chambliss and the waiver decision.
Mm-hmm.
Does LSU have to start that waiver process over? Because if his intent is to hit the portal, would you not put the kibosh on this thing? And why are we helping you get a waiver if you're not even going to come back and play here?
I'm sure Lane's probably got some things in motion. I'd have to assume. Sabrion, what you got for us?
Ah, shit, not too much, man.
How you doing on this Wednesday, Thursday?
Wednesday.
And it's just another day doing damn roofing.
There you go. Well, talk to us. What's your take for us this morning?
I just got a couple questions, man. If we don't land on E-Rob, who do we go after?
I think that's going to be a very interesting situation. I think they're going to go hard at E-Rob. I think they're going to.
They haven't missed yet.
They're going to spend some money. Money has never been a question, so I don't think they're going to get outbid for anybody that they want.
I think we got outbid
Penn State and whoever else. They got.
I think
Wisconsin, Nebraska, everything.
They're willing to pay whatever for what they want. I think they've made that pretty obvious as of late, and so I think they're gonna do everything they can to get him here. And ultimately, if he picks somebody else, I don't really know who else is out there. I know Gerald Chapman was at Florida. I saw his name pop up in the chat, and it's also been he was at LSU at one point. His name's popped up around the job over the last couple of years, so potentially there. I just kind of think they don't get E-Rob. That's their big fish. They just kind of fall back on Lane's brother Chris, who is on staff right now and has experience coaching that position.
I got you. So I guess my other question would be, we don't know, if Lacey and all them. Hell, Chandler still, he's got to have his little waiver sign or wherever get another year, don't he? So that's up in the air. It's kind of like a 50-50 thing. We don't know if Lacey's going to go, but if Barry and Durham don't come back, where do we kind of go from there? I mean, say Lacey decides he wants to stay at Ole Miss, and Barry and Durham decides they're going to leave because Frank's no longer there. Kind of like, what do we kind of do from there? I don't want to sit here and get my hopes up about something that's not actually being talked about.
Yeah, look,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, look, I don't. It's obviously not being talked about officially with Lacey. I think it's a safe bet. If you bring over a head coach and a running back coach, that he follows. But I understand the thought process, and I think worst case scenario, if you lose Frank and Lacey doesn't come over and those two backs leave,
Caleb Jackson era,
they're going to go into the portal hard regardless. And we'll see kind of how it shakes out. But I think Lane has built up the credibility in identifying talent in the portal. I don't know what options are out there. I know I saw, Baxter, the Texas running back, hit the portal. I don't know too much about him.
Yeah.
But there are going to be options out there. Players are going to hit the portal. And with Lane Kiffin and his credibility of identifying talent, I think, you kind of trust what he'll be able to do, him and Kevin Smith, if he ends up being the running backs coach.
I guess the main quarterback we have to look at is, Sam Levitt. I don't know. I guess that's kind of the hot name to LSU right now.
Well, I just think that's the name of the portal right now.
I don't know.
I think that this is the thing with the portal. It is not open for another almost month, right? January 2nd is when it opens up. There are going to be names that pop up from now until then and even once it's open. And so I think as of right now, Levitt's the name that's in the portal, and he's the hot name. And I do think he fits what Lane wants to do, but there could be other names that pop up in over the next couple of weeks that maybe fit some different things. I think C.J. Bailey's name is one I've heard, not from anyone at LSU, but just in general of fans, because I think he's going to be extremely talented, like you said. So there are going to be names that come up. I don't think you can really identify right now, hey, that's going to be a guy that's going to be in the portal. I just think over the coming weeks you'll hear names and you'll go, that's something that I would be excited about.
And Lloyd, did you say what's his name? Caleb Jackson? You don't think he transfers out?
No, I do. I just was saying a name. If you're without Caden Durham and you're without Arlen Barron, you don't get Q1 Lacey.
I'd love to see him play a full damn game.
Hell yeah! I'm not giving up on that man.
I mean, I know the talent's there. He just haven't been developed.
Yeah, I think he could be, and maybe this Lane Kiffin offense could suit him a little bit better. But I know that.
Because him and K1 Lacey's about the same damn size, ain't he?
I think Jackson's probably bigger,
but
K1
about 6'2", but
6'7". But I just don't think that somebody built like that playing that position. I mean, you just have to give him every opportunity to succeed because he's an absolute freak show.
I mean, hopefully he gets some then running the ball game. But I mean,
why not?
I don't see how that guy didn't get any goal line touches or anything. That dude might be the second coming of damn Leonard Fournette. Shit.
That's what the comp was in terms of build. But I mean, I don't know why LSU didn't try it either, considering their red zone offense was proficient this year. So why not? I don't know why they never threw that.
Let the guy run downhill.
Shit.
It's not somebody's head off.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to get 2. I trust him to give me 2 yards. But we'll see. New era.
Give me at least half a yard. Most of the time, that's what we damn needed.
Well, we can't quarterback sneak it either. My belly hurts.
Well, yeah. I mean, I would quarterback sneak it either. Would have broken the reel.
Yeah. All right, Sabe.
We appreciate you, Sabe. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right, man. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right.
Call from
Landon.
What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Landon.
Hey, my name's Landon. Different Landon, but how's it going?
Oh, we're
Excellent.
doing good. How are you? What you got for us?
Not too much. I just have a question for you guys. Maybe y'all can have this discussion. Who do you think y'all's favorite player to watch this year was? Because for me, it was A.J. Halsey. I mean, he was an absolute animal. And just going from our safety play this year from last year, you know, I remember I was at the Arkansas game, and he had got hurt. He had to come out for a couple plays, and, you know, I remember they started driving the ball. We had Toviano in, and luckily Mansour Delane made that interception in the end zone. But just kind of curious of what y'all's, you know, favorite player to watch this year was.
That's a good question. I think A.J. Halsey is probably going to be one of the most common answers.
It's hard to say.
I would go Bauer Sharp probably. You know, it was really fun. I'm just kidding. Mansour Delane for me. I think, you know, early game one, he brought me back to a time when I was a young boy watching LSU, where the defensive backs were just so good, and he carried that from week one to week two throughout the whole season, and it was just like a breath of fresh air with how rough it's been in the DB room over the last handful of years, when you just have that one guy on one side of the football, one side of the field that is just absolute lockdown, in phase with the wide receiver, has, you know, great ball skill. Like, it was a breath of fresh air at the cornerback position.
Definitely. I think P.J. Woodland, too, made a big jump this year as well. But the only other thing I'll add is you know, as far as running back goes, I do think we need a downhill thumper type running back to complement Harlan Berry and if Kejuan Lacey comes. But other than that, I appreciate you taking the call and love y'all's show, and y'all have a good one.
All right, appreciate you, brother.
Who's yours, Lloyd? I think Halsey and Mansour are probably the two most common answers.
The player I enjoyed watching the most.
Yep.
Yeah, A.J. Halsey is a great answer because it was like
that would have been my first pick.
Right, because it is. Well, you didn't really get to see much of Mansour Delane because they never threw at him, but when they did, it was like, that's a mistake.
Yeah, why would you do that?
And so that was when you say like a breath of fresh air and something like, even in the Clemson game, where you're like, whoa, okay, he is as good, like better than I thought. Like, I don't think you just go and pick number one corners out of the portal like that. And it was like, okay, I don't know if Virginia Tech knew what they had walk. But A.J. Halsey is also in that same breath. I was tired of seeing 8-yard runs go 88 yards. Right. And he made a handful, if not two handfuls, of like game-saving tackles that let you continue to play defense as opposed to giving, you know, the opponent hitting their head on the goalpost. Outside of that, I would say Xavier Thomas. I thought he made I thought he made a really big leap in terms of what you brought him here to do and what he ended up being. So I think whether it's in the run game, the pass game, the quarterback game, whatever you asked him to do, he was kind of like your gadget guy because Aaron Anderson was oft injured this year, and you saw Xavier Thomas make that leap. So I thought that was another exciting component of a rather putrid offense, and then Harlan Berry.
Yeah, and I think another one, for me personally, Jacobian Guillory.
Absolutely.
I think watching him kind of blossom in a sense, like where it's just kind of been up and down. Like we said, 8 D-line coaches in 6 years. He gets a guy that kind of fits what he's able to do and help him grow and develop, and he made plays. And not only did he make plays, the celebrations, the fan base, just kind of the whole dynamic around Jacobian and how it went this year for him. It was nice to see a guy that stuck it out at LSU for as long as he did, has had the ups and downs, really get to bask in why you come to a school like this, where you can blow up the interior on a 4th and 1, and then you can rub your belly and dance and hype the crowd and like just live the dream. Like that's the dream. That's why you go to LSU, and that was probably one of my favorite things to watch this year. And as rough of a season as it was.
A-Town stand up. Well, just because of everything that he'd been through, you finally got to see a full, healthy season of Jacobian Guillory with an actual coach. And I think that's everything that you kind of come here for. And he finally got to live out like that. I know the season didn't go the way he wanted to, but he made a handful of plays where he was able to be a standout on a defense that was excellent. But then he had some moments, like the Florida moment where he got held and it was supposed to be an 80-yard touchdown, and he's the only one moving back. He stops the, I guess I don't want to say the tush push, but he goes over the top of the offensive line and makes a huge 4th down stop. You're like, this guy's having, from a position where you don't really get solo impact plays that often, like you're seeing a lot of Jacoby and Guillory, and I think he made himself a ton of money, and he came back and got to enjoy it, and that's the most important part. It's like he finally got to have a year that he deserved it, and I was glad it was his senior year of like, I stayed here, and I think this was worth it.
And he never really got to showcase it.
No.
Then he gets hurt last year in a season where you thought, like, he was one of the most important pieces. You didn't have a D-line.
Right.
And he gets hurt. He comes back from that injury, and he got to ball out and really enjoy it, which was fun to watch. So, only a handful of offensive guys that were fun to watch this year.
A handful is a lot.
By like 2. I mean, I would say Trey-Dez, Xavion, Harlem,
Healthy Caden,
right? But I mean, you really didn't see all that much.
I mean, it felt like you.
And so I would say, I mean, that's probably the
wasted
extent of it.
Darion Brown.
Yep. I mean, you didn't get anything out of Chris.
Wasted Nick Anderson. Wasted Chris Hilton. Wasted Garrett Nussmeier, I guess.
Aaron was hurt. Nuss was hurt. Like, you didn't get anything on that side of the ball. But defensively, you added pieces that were exciting. You had pieces that developed and were exciting. Harold Perkins had his games. Like, I mean, against Clemson was fun. He balled out the last couple of games of the season. But I would say Halsey, Delane, Xavion, and Jacobian probably are the core of what was exciting about it. So we appreciate everybody today hanging out with us. Shout out to Jacques Doucet for joining us every single Wednesday. He gets in here and talks with the young folk, and obviously our loyal chat that called in this morning. I know some people were, not the biggest fans of phone calls.
We love the audience, though.
But we like
you
to
never
give
know when
the
you'll make a
audience
friend.
Platform. You never know who's going to call in. You never know what they're going to say. And it's, as much as it might not be what you're tuning in for, it's something we like to do because it allows everyone to get a little fun. Everybody gets to get heard in a different way. And we like doing it. So we appreciate everybody hanging out with us this morning, as I think it is time for us to connect athletically on this fine Wednesday morning to close it out here from our Southern Regional Medical Center studios in a interesting time for LSU sports.
Oh, I just got a job offer. We are hiring online advertising specialists. Flexibility work 1 to 2 hours per day, your own schedule. Earnings $100 to $600 per day, guaranteed $1,000 weekly. Benefits 15 to 20 days of paid time off per year, plus public holidays. Fully remote role with complete training provided. Must be 25 and a U.S. citizen or a valid social security number.
Yeah, and then they're going to
No.
Yep.
They didn't tell me who the company is, so that's real.
It's definitely real.
What a dream.
I'll definitely click the link on that.
Yeah.
Put your social security number that you don't know in, that doesn't exist. You know it.
Right.
But it doesn't work.
Yes. I can't get the job.
That's why you're here.
Nobody else. I'm not real.
Yeah, you're not. That's okay.
I'm real in the chat.
You are. That's for sure. Let's connect athletically here on this beautiful
connect
morning.
athletically. Yeah. Saved Ron. Wasted the whole damn team.
See what? It's not.
Kind of.
Yeah. No, I mean, right.
God.
Anyway, it's not as cold in here as it is outside. You
get a little
warm in here all of a sudden.
I'm pitting.
It's getting a little toasty. Ooh, got a long weekend.
Are you wearing something under that?
I am.
Green bean team again.
Same outfit as yesterday. Sick.
That is sickening.
Got a long weekend ahead. The Kinsley tournament at Central High School this weekend.
Who's Kinsley?
Charles T. Kinsley. Played basketball at Central, was a coach at Central back in the day. And they do the Kinsley tournament, the inaugural Kinsley tournament every single year. Central hosts a tournament, and we are hosting that Thursday, Friday, Saturday this week.
Hold on real quick before we connect athletically. This is a former athlete throwing some shade at old Lane. He's pissing everybody off. This is one Archie.
Hey, Richard, Archie Manning here. Now, I know
don't
what
know.
big Rebel fans you, David, and Scott are, and I want to also thank you for being a big fan of mine.
Cute dog.
As you know, the Rebels had a great year. I think we're
Is he
going
dead?
to do great in the playoffs without our narcissist jerk coach. I sure hope so. Here's a New Year's blessing to the Don of the Kelly family. Hotty toddy.
Okay.
Our narcissistic jerk coach.
Archie doesn't really do that. That's why it could be AI. He's actually quite a nice man. But not there.
I just think it's so funny how
He
they're
really
acting.
got into their skin.
It is unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it.
Oh, it's LSU with Saban. We didn't say anything nice about him.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I don't know. I get, well, it's also a different time. I think, I mean, everything is exacerbated with the social medias.
I mean, you got Archie Manning doing cameos.
Right.
I don't think this man is alive in the recliner. He didn't move once.
Dog's alive. Cute dog.
No.
James Bosch Wade Morning.
Alonzo Mourning wasn't on that team.
He wasn't, but he is on the Miami Heat. And that is what the Ole Miss fans are doing.
Mourning.
They are mourning. Let's see.
Let's see. Sportway Ware Chicken. Don, Stan Musial, Stan Suzuki, Stan Boggs.
Put on, wear, don, and
Juan.
sport. That's what you can do with
anything.
Like an outfit, I guess.
Put it on for my
clothes,
city.
Uniform, yeah, be dressed in.
Chicken.
The Chargers. The Padres. San Diego.
The Wave.
And then the San Diego Chicken.
Gotta be.
Gotta be the San Diego Chicken. I mean, who's never heard of the San Diego Chicken? There you go.
What is it? Wade.
Brett Hungler, Central anywhere near as good as last year? I mean, we lost a lot. Well, we had 9 seniors last year, so it's a little bit of a different team. But Jace Conrad's still on that team, and he's pretty talented. No redheaded sniper. So they're still good. Well, you know, we're still talented. I don't know if we're not
They call him the school shooter.
Nice. We're not as deep as last year, obviously, so it's not going to be. You're not going to run out a lineup of 9 guys that can play, but we'll still make some noise. Got Broadmoor on Thursday night, and if you win that, play the winner of U High and somebody else on Friday night. Which, if that lines up as it should, that'll be a pretty exciting game.
I do.
Is this CJ Bailey?
I do want this.
Stud.
Look at this throw.
No, he's a stud, dude.
You know what it looks like? Brandon Harris.
Stud.
Same build. 7 of 21 with an interception. How do you, fundamentally broke that man.
Glimmer for that. Yup, I heard he can ball. If you're talking about Jace, yeah, he's pretty good. I think he's 32 points away from 1,000.
Who's the highest scorer in Central history?
I don't know, but I know we've only had, I think, 3 1,000-point scores in like the last 20 years. 20, 25 years. This is Blake Lively and the other guy from Gossip Girl. What's his name? He's also the guy in You. What's his name in real life? In You, what's his name? Joe Goldberg? Joe something? What's his name in real life?
I don't see how he got away with it for so long. He just keeps... He doesn't even really kill him. He just keeps him. And then lets him go, and they're like, I won't tell on you.
I don't remember. I don't know his name in IRL. Pinbat, yeah, that's what it is. Pin. P.
No, he never had a choice but to be an actor.
Oh, you mean Pin Bagley?
Pin Bagley.
There he is.
Nice. That counts.
Yep. What AFC West team did the Rams defeat during the famous 2022 game where Baker Mayfield led them to a win only 2 days after joining the team? Oh, he's wearing number 17. The AFC West is the Broncos, Chiefs, Chargers, Raiders. Is that who the AFC West is? I believe so. It wasn't the Chiefs.
No.
It's either the Broncos or the Raiders. Because I would have remembered if it was the Chargers or the Chiefs. This is pre-Sean Payton, right?
Mm-hmm. I want to say the Chargers, though.
Really?
I think this is what got that man fired.
Brandon Staley?
Mm-hmm. Because he kept losing games like this. It was in SoFi, was it not?
I know for a fact it wasn't the Chiefs. I don't
Raiders.
think it was the Broncos. The Raiders?
Raiders. I guess it's still impressive.
What current Eastern Conference as the Wizards?
Those were phenomenal jerseys.
They were.
But then you had the DC Sniper, so that it changed their name.
From 2007 to 2011, this reliever led the league in saves with 3 different teams: Arizona, Houston, and Detroit. So the Diamondbacks, the Astros, and the Tigers. Saves.
Like how you look at me for these.
Well, you're more of a baseball guy than me.
Valverde.
Valverde.
That's fun to say. And an excellent salsa. Yeah. History.
Let's Move was a public health campaign.
Oh,
issued
this
by
is
US First
Michelle.
Lady.
Right?
She also ruined my school lunches. God, she took away my monkey bread. We used to have monkey bread in elementary school, which was like a cinnamon roll type bread. And after when they came into office and they did the whole health kick, got rid of my sweet dessert.
What about your chocolatey winner?
I have no idea. A marshmallow cereal?
Oh, it's got to be
Lucky Charms.
Lucky Charms.
Television.
Do you see what Flaugier does with Lucky Charms? She puts bowl,
Uh-huh. Right, as many would.
ice, puts the Lucky Charms on the counter, pours them out, not in the bowl. Milk in the bowl
With the ice.
with the ice. Picks out all of the marshmallows and puts them in the bowl, and that she just has a delightful just marshmallow cereal with ice, which I've never seen the ice. I don't think the milk gets that. The way that you eat cereal, I'd imagine, doesn't get too warm.
Or soggy.
No.
It's gone rather quickly. Well, now, but when I was a kid with Lucky Charms, I would eat until the marshmallows were gone and I'd dump the rest out. Until I grew up and then I'd finish the actual cereal.
Well, I think it's a good contrast. You need both.
But as a kid, like I would just
Yeah,
once there's no marshmallows left, that's
Yeah,
that's all I'm here for.
Yeah, you would go to your friend's house.
But I would eat both. I wouldn't just pick out marshmallows. But once there are no more marshmallows,
I'm done with it.
I'm not digging any farther. I already got what I want.
It's the same people that would eat all the marshmallows out of the box, that eat the pizza toppings off the pizza. Eat the pizza.
Just eat the pizza.
I'm doing keto here.
You know, weird thing my sister used to do. Wouldn't eat a Dorito.
Suck on it?
No, would just lick the, whatever, whether it's Cool
taste?
Ranch or the flavoring off, and then throw it away.
Calories.
I guess.
This is John Cena.
John Cena. That's what Santino
Pete-
Morelli used to call him.
Peacemaker.
Peacemaker, good show. I don't know what she was in.
Who is that?
I know that's the annoying one that people started to hate after she
So
was
would it
Snow
not
White.
be Snow White?
Snow White at one state was that a stage musical? She was also in a Hunger Games thing.
I guess Snow White just came out. Oh, West Side Story.
West Side?
I don't think that's what it's about.
I don't think so.
West Side?
I'm your biggest fan. I'll follow you into Paparazzi. I'm your biggest fan. I'll follow
you till you love me.
You love me.
That is Mike Tyson. Paparazzi. Nice.
Bang.
Number 9.
Bang.
Thank you for the chat. Valverde.
We appreciate everybody here on this fine Wednesday morning.
Carl, I know they changed names before the gun crime. They just had the script. He was in the back of a car. Oh, 2 claps ready. Happy 29th birthday to one Joseph Burrow.
What's Joey B's birthday?
Mm-hmm.
What's today? I need to mark this down. December 10th. Got it. 2 claps. Ready. Forever indebted.
Yeah.
Man saved my life.
If I don't get you, I'm going to lose my job.
I mean, if he would have
And
got him,
he
I
was
would've-
right. Once he left, I lost my job.
Oh, we got the on-3 college football All-American team.
Go Tigers.
One
Tigers.
LSU
Go
Tiger.
Tigers. Go 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 Tigers.
What you got?
Who do you think it is?
What was the
2025 on-3 All-American team. There is one LSU Tiger.
what side of the ball?
What do you mean, what side of the ball? Is that even a
One
question?
Mansour Delane.
Yeah. You want me to read you the
Sure.
the
Let's see how many
team?
people I know.
Okay, who do you think the quarterback is?
Is this all over the country?
Mm-hmm.
It's that. It's the.
Mm-mm.
Really?
You know who it is.
Oh, is it Pavia?
It is. You got 2 running backs.
Kewan Lacey?
Nope.
Jeremiah Love.
Yep. You're not going to get the second one. Ahmad Hardy, Missouri.
Oh, I would have.
You got there?
Mm-hmm. Because they were so
That was all they
when
had.
they were
It was-
good.
Yeah, it was him.
That's who they were talking about a lot.
Wide receivers, 2 of them.
Oh, did they do the easy thing? Jeremiah Smith.
Yep, that one. Yeah, and then
Not Ryan Williams.
Makai Lemon,
Who's that?
USC. Tight end is Kenyon Sadiq from Kenyon Sadiq from Oregon.
Oh, yeah.
Offensive line, Florida got a guy, Jake Slaughter, the center. And then defensively, see who you would know. The edge rushers are David Bailey and Caden Curry. You know Curry he's from Ohio State. He's the one that
Number 4?
clobbered,
Or number 6?
He clobbered what's his face the other.
Yeah, Spinelli. Kirk Cousins' brother.
What's his name? Why can't I think of his name? Mendoza. And then David Bailey from Texas Tech. And then you have Caden McDonald and Tyreek Tucker, Ohio State and Indiana. Arvell Reese from Ohio State. You can get this linebacker.
Harold Perkins.
Nope. Jacob Rodriguez.
Yes, deservedly so.
100%. CJ Allen, the other linebacker. Then you have Mansour Delane and Leonard Moore at cornerbacks.
Who's the other? Who's Leonard Moore?
That's the one from Notre Dame. You got your 3 Thorpe guys. You've got Leonard Moore, Mansour Delane, and then safety Caleb Downs. Then safety Luis Moore
From
Indiana. Not Illinois, Indiana.
They all just pick the best teams and the best players on those teams, except for Mansour Delane.
Man, it's usually how it goes, unless you're really good like Mansour Delane and you kind of break through.
He was really good.
He was really good. Who's going to win the national championship, Lloyd?
Georgia.
Really?
Put a future in already.
Did you? I've got a couple futures in, but not for football. I've got an LSU women's basketball future, and I've got an LSU baseball one that I'm waiting to put in.
Mm-hmm.
Once I can put it in, it's going in.
It's going in. Yeah, it's every year.
Every single year. And whatever the win line is, over.
I don't think they do that.
You don't think so? I wonder if they have any of that up yet.
When does baseball start? We have the first
Usually
pitch being
Valentine's
played.
Day is roundabout.
Yeah,
when
it is
starts.
actually. Yeah, how can you not be romantic about baseball?
How could you not be romantic about baseball? Let's see. You have college baseball in here. College baseball.
Is it in there?
Let's see. Nope.
You're scared.
Not on DraftKings. Maybe FanDuel.
Never mind.
Gage Evans says JMU. Nice. Yeah. Thanks for that. Did you see what Pavia did? It's like it's a group of 5
Such a
teams.
fucking asshole.
He's right though. Like I mean,
Well, yeah, I know, but like nobody cares about your NIL money. You know who he is? He's fucking Baby Gronk grown up. He's just like nobody fucking cares what you have to say. You're irrelevant.
Baby Gronk grown up.
He is. He looks like him too. I can't wait for him to bust.
We appreciate everybody hanging out with us here on this morning. Once again, prayers up for Kevin Faulk and his family. Obviously, our prayers, thoughts, condolences with them. Kev, we love you.
Love you, Kev.
Here for you, and we appreciate everybody. We'll see you again tomorrow morning, 7 to 9.